Hello friends, and welcome to another video. So last night I was pulling in the for sale Gravely to put it away, and my neighbor here was trying to start up his generator and it wouldn't start. And the first thing I noticed was gas was leaking out of the carburetor here. So I was thinking that he may have flooded it because it is pretty cold out. And so what I had him do is we pulled the spark plug. I shut the gas off immediately. Then I pulled I had him pull the spark plug out, and then I told him to pull start it like 10 times to get the raw gas out of the cylinder, which he did. And then I dried off the spark plug and stuck the plug back in there. Leaving the gas off, we tried to start it again, wouldn't start. So I put my inline spark tester in between the spark plug and the spark plug wire, and we had no spark. So the first thing I did was the kill switch here, the on-off switch. I disconnected the wire going to that to eliminate that, because it does, you could have a bad switch. So I disconnected that, still no spark. And then it was starting to get dark out, so I said we'll tear into it tomorrow morning, which is today. But last night I had a thought. I forgot about the low oil safety sensors that these have. Most of them have this. And I just checked the oil. The oil's full. So we will have to tear into this. It seems like it could be a bad coil. So I'm going to wheel it up to our work area up there. And we're going to have to pull this cover off and see what's going on. He has like an outdoor tent here. I don't know if any mice got in there or anything like that. Or I don't know if it's just a matter of cleaning the coil surface and the flywheel surface. And maybe we could get spark again. I'm not really sure. So let me get this thing up by our workshop here and get started on it. Okay, so we're going to begin by taking off the recoiler here, because he's having trouble with it retracting. So I'll service that up for him real quick. We'll just spray some WD-40 in there. So I'll take that off, but we're not worried about that right now. It's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit right now, so it's a little cold out right now. But it's supposed to get up to about 45 to 50 degrees today. It's supposed to, anyway. There's only 4 bolts holding on the recoiler here. So we'll get that out of the way. You normally don't have to take the recoiler off. I think you could just take the whole housing off. But since we're going to service the recoiler, I'll just take it off separately. So far what I'm seeing is like 4 bolts holding the cover on here, but I don't know if the air filter housing is going to be in the way. I'm not sure yet. We'll just stick these back in here, so we'll keep these together. I don't even know which holes I took these out of. I don't mind telling you, my fingers are freezing. All the bolts for the, how come I'm missing the bolt? Alrighty. Here it is, I got it. It was where I last left it. It's kind of an emergency, that's why I'm doing this for. I'm out in the cold here. If worst comes to worst, I'll lend them my the generator we use here. That needs a carburetor, but that's for another video. But I think I might be able to get it started up good enough for him to use it here. Oh boy, it's tight. I just throw all the bolts for the housing in a coffee can here. The bolts are facing down, as you could say. I hope you could say what's going on a little bit there, yeah. I almost overlooked that the low oil safety sensor. If you ever have a problem with the sensor where you disconnect the wires going to it and it starts, and you have a bad sensor, always replace the sensor. Don't leave it disconnected, because that warns you. It could save your engine of running out of oil. And you don't want that to happen. Might have to move the camera and disconnect the kill switch wiring. Nope, not so lucky here. So I'm gonna have to let's see, there's a bolt here, there's a nut here, there's another nut here. The two nuts are for the mounting of the carburetor, so I think we're gonna have to take those out. Definitely have to take this one out here. I'm gonna have to get my deep 10mm socket. I only have it in 3/8 drive, so I'll be back in a moment. Well, the magnet here is a little rusted up, so first I'm just going to try to clean this up. And this is the coil right here, has two bolts holding it in, so I'm going to pull the coil off. Can't pull it all the way out because they made this a pain. The coil wire runs up behind this shield here, and I think you gotta pop the carburetor off to get this shield out to get the coil wire and coil assembly out. So I'm hoping maybe just a good cleaning of the coil. I think I could flip the coil up enough to where I could get some sandpaper in there and clean it, and then I'll just take some sandpaper to this and clean this off the surfaces. But I'm pretty sure he's looking at a coil here though to replace. I don't have one that even resembles that here. So let me do that. And oh yeah, so to get that air cleaner cover off, there was that one bolt here, and then the two mounting nuts here. I took the nuts off, and then I could pull the whole air cleaner backing off. So that wasn't a big deal there. And like I said, it was 4 bolts holding this on. And I just tilted it back this way because we don't really need to disconnect the kill switch or anything like that for this job. So alright, so let me get back to you in a couple of minutes here. I'll see if I can do some cleaning, see if we can get spark out of it. If not, I'm going to take pictures of the coil before I put the cover back on and get some information off the engine here in case he has to order a coil for it. Okay, so the coil contacts were really clean. I just cleaned that magnetic pickup here on flywheel real quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the kill wire that goes to the coil. I'm going to leave that disconnected. And I put 2 nuts back on the carburetor here. Because what I want to do is I'm going to put the housing on, just put like 2 bolts in there. And let's see if we can service that recoiler real quick. Sorry about that. Let's give it some spray. Something here. It's been hanging up on them some. So I'll just put some I'll just spray this with some WD and PB blaster because I think I'm running out of WD. And we'll see if we can get that working better for him. I don't know if I could get any WD out of this can here. A little bit here and there. Not enough. I think I could get some PB blaster out of here. Nah. I gotta go in and get some WD then. There's WD in here, but it lost its spraying abilities here. This could only happen on camera. It's a little better, but I like to get some more WD-40 in there. Before it wouldn't even, as you saw, wouldn't even do that. This is probably going to have to come back apart again anyway. Alright, so in the meantime, I'm just going to throw, I'll just throw 2 bolts crisscrossed in the cover there, and I'll put this recoiler back on. If we have to take it apart again, I can leave the recoiler on. And I'll just service it that way. Alright, so I forgot to tell you one thing. Like the coils are slotted. So you could adjust the coil to the flywheel, to the magnet. And what you would usually use, I use a business card. And I think it's a 10,000 feeler gauge you would use. This one wasn't slotted. It only seemed to go on one way. So just to let you know. Let's just give it a try and see if it does anything. I'm pretty sure it's going to need a coil. I guess I'll turn the gas on here. Choke it or don't choke it. I think we'll choke it. The coil is still stuck a little bit. Take the choke off. Yeah, I think the coil went. I'm gonna go get the owner down here. He just came in to go to work. I will just check it for spark once again. Did I put the spark plug wire on? I don't know if I did or not. I might have not. No, I didn't. She's leaking out of the carburetor already. It's already getting flooded. I just shut the gas off. So I went ahead and flooded it because I forgot to put the spark plug wire on. But I'll be right back to you because I think that I'm having to pull the plug out. Seems like it got loaded with gas again. Alright, let's try it one more time. I pulled the plug out, pulled it about 10 times, but I'm pretty sure the coil's not right. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to order the new coil for it and then I'll be back to you when we go to put it on. We have the new coil here from Amazon, and this is the box it came in. Okay, so what I did was, all I did was Google Subaru power generator ignition coil, and they give you illustrations, pictures and stuff. They had two different ones. One was $14, and this one here was $17. I got the more expensive one. I don't know if it's going to mean anything. When I looked it up, it said Hepping, Heping, EX27, EX30. Okay, so it's made in China. Oh boy, hope it works out all right. This is the old one here, which I tagged it. I just marked it because I always give the customer or the friend I'm fixing the machine for back the old part if he wants it. If he has any problems with this, I'm going to just tell him to get an OEM one on his own. But this generator was only about 3 or 4 years old, and the coil went on it. So I don't know. I guess that's how they make everything today. I don't know. I don't know the characteristics of this Subaru here. If there's a problem with the coils, I'm not really sure. All right, so we left off to where I still had the coil on it. What we did was, first thing I did was I cleaned the surface of the coil, which wasn't bad at all. Then I cleaned the surface of the magnetic pickup on the flywheel, cleaned that up, and we put it back together. And I just put a couple of bolts in the shroud so we could start it up. But I left the kill wire disconnected from the magneto to avoid any other problems like the starter switch or the low pressure sensor. And also sometimes you get a wire that's cut through, grounding out on the block or whatever. So we avoided that problem. So we got to that point Now, the coil wire tucks under this bracket here. There's a bracket here. And then if you saw, this bracket was hooked in underneath there. So what I did was, you have to search for the bolt. The bolt is underneath, facing up. I'm holding a camera, so it's hard to point. So we took that off. And then the only other bolt there is when you bolt this back up, put the bottom bolt in, the shroud bolt holds in the other piece of the bracket right there. So that's not a big deal. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to bolt the new coil in. I'm going to run the wire under the bracket. I'm going to put this other tin bracket back on. I'm not going to tighten the bolt on this other tin bracket all the way. This way, you might have to move it a little bit for when you put the shroud back on. And we'll bolt it. I'm going to have some confidence in this. And I'm just going to put the whole thing together and see if it starts up or not. I mean, if it doesn't start up because of an ignition problem, we'll have to look on. But 99% I think it's the coil. So what I'll do is I'll put this whole thing back together. I'll get back to you and we'll start it up and see if she starts. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, I showed you how the wire ran under this bracket here, and then we had to take this bottom bracket off so we could lift this up and pull the wire out. Okay, so the carburetor was a little stuck. I had to give it a wiggle, and I grabbed it by the bottom to pull the bracket and the whole thing up. So if we tore a gasket, we would just be tearing one gasket. So it's hard to see in there if I did tear the gasket. I'm not really sure. But after you get it put together and you start it up and the engine's surging real bad, you've most likely ripped that gasket and it's causing a vacuum leak. I just wanted to let you know that. And also this cover here, make sure you tuck it under the throttle rod here, the governor rod in the spring. Because if you mash this thing down and tighten up the the shroud with that one bolt here, and this is pinned underneath the cover, you'll probably end up having a runaway engine. That's all. And then I'll get back to you when we start it up. We'll try to anyway. Okay, let's try it. I have it choked. Turn the gas on. The switch is on. I did hook up the spark plug wire this time. Okay, let's try it and see what happens this time. Okay, so I'm happy with it. I hope this helps somebody out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.